The Nitecore MT20C isn't the newest light on the market. I've had this one for over a year, but realized I never did a review on it, so I thought in this down week I'd do one. This was the first reputable 18650 flashlight I bought. I was looking for a smaller 18650 light with a red and white LED option, and this fit that bill. I'm going to try and keep this a little bit shorter since it's not a brand new product. So here's a brief look at it, and I've got the camera zoomed in a little bit. Let me know if you like this look in the comments below. And to me, this was an attractive looking light. I do like that it's got the 2 mode buttons up here, and I'll talk more about that. Inside here, you can see the bezel, and it does have a nice fingerprint. It is anti-reflective coated glass, and it is water resistant. But inside there, you can see that additional LED, not in the center. And hold it back, you can see that red lit up there. And that's just a little bit different feature about this light. More on that later. In terms of output, this light isn't a ton. In turbo, the maximum is only 460 lumens, but its tighter beam makes up for that, given that this light has a pretty good throw for its size. There are a total of 5 white modes and 1 red mode of constant light. Then there are also 3 special modes of SOS, strobe, and location beacon. It uses a Cree XP G2 LED, and then it has a red LED off to the side. Nitecore doesn't give a rating for the red LED, give you the color length, or really much detail about it other than it has one. I wish they would have told you more about it. This light does have a big step down from turbo to high. It's 460 lumens to 210 lumens, and that's a big step. The other 4 remaining white modes are much more evenly spaced, and this does have a 1 lumen Moonlight mode. In my thermal tests, in 10 minutes, I got it up to 103 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe. And the whole light body did get pretty warm, but the head was what was the warmest. I think that's pretty well controlled, and I imagine that's why the step down is so big, is because of the thermal regulation. So I like that this light is a 3-button light. You have to forward click on the switch at the end, which means you can do momentary with it once it's on. Let me turn it to white here, which is nice. Once it's on there, you can momentary. So it is good for tactical, which is kind of how this light is built. And you can see in my hand here, you can do it like grip like that. You can do kind of a 2-finger grip. It works pretty well for all the types of popular tactical type grips with this tail click. I like that it's a stiffer tail click because it doesn't come on in your pocket easily. I've had 0 problems with this coming on that way. It does tail stand. The bezel is crenulated. But really back to the modes here. Once it's on, these buttons allow you to go forward and backwards in terms of brightness. The forward button lets you go brighter, and the backward button lets you go dimmer. You do have a couple of quick modes as well. You can, once on already, you can press and hold and you go to turbo, or press and hold and you go back to red. This light does have a battery check feature as well, and I'll show that here in a minute. For lockout modes, you can unscrew the back end here and it will lock out, doesn't work anymore. I haven't found that to be necessary. And then also the battery check mode also has a lockout mode, and I'll show you that more here when I shut off the lights. One thing to know is that this light can only use a button top battery. I wish that was something different because it gives you more options. The reason Nitecore does that is their reverse polarity protection. So here is the light on its lowest 1 lumen mode, and I'll step up. And this is a good way to show the high hot center with a medium amount of spill. And that is turbo. And here, let me show you direct access to red. And the red is pretty dim, hard to see, but you know, it doesn't go very far, but it meets the needs if you're trying to read a map or something like that. It's popular in aviation and for astrology. So to do battery check, you hold the front 2 lights and then click and hold the back, and it'll start blinking here, and this will tell you the voltage down to the 100th of a volt pretty well. And then it enters a lockout mode that does red, and I stopped it. Nope, there it is. There's a lockout. And this lockout is also a locate function. So this will run for days, if not weeks, to let you know how to find the flashlight should you want to. Quick size comparison with this light here. And you can see it compared to a dollar bill here. It's shorter than a dollar bill. For me, it's a pretty good size. I wish it was a little bit thinner in diameter, but it's really not too bad. The build quality is standard Nitecore, which means it's solid. Machine is good. The anodizing is hard. Pretty much every detail that Nitecore says, I can trust the package. It's not false advertising. They do a good job of testing their flashlights and accurately reporting the numbers. The snurling, I think, could be more aggressive, especially for a tactical style light. It's just smooth in my opinion. Now mine does have some wear on it, but that's just something to keep in mind. This light does come into 3 pieces. Just one thing to also know. While I've got apart, here is the head and the reverse polarity protection in there, as you can see, those 2 bars. And the head again. This light does come with a pretty nice holster in my opinion, and I use this a decent amount with this light. Fits in there nice. You got Velcro in the back then as well, and a nice heavy D-ring. Works pretty well. It's a heavy nylon holster. For me, the logical modes of this light and the 3-button access make it a nice light to use. I don't EDC it much because it's a little fatter than I would like, and the pocket clip doesn't go as low as I would like in the pocket. I'm a stickler of that. It may not bother you. This is a pretty good pocket clip design, though, in terms of not catching on your pants. It's got a nice ramp here, not a squared off end like some of my O-lights. I do use this light for going out on walks at night often because it fits in the hand really nicely, and I like how the modes are spaced out. It just is easy to go up and down in brightness if you're meeting somebody on the trails or whatnot. I wish this light was a little bit brighter in comparison to others that I have, but I've never been out in a situation where I wish I had more light than what this provides, so I think it does a very adequate job for how I'm using it and probably how most people would use it. And at the end of the day, it's a reliable light, and that's all what really matters. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe, and if you have any comments, please leave them below.